Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Teresa Giudice's fall from grace on Real Housewives of New Jersey should have happened after this malicious moment. Margaret Josephs recently confirmed that she had heard from Bravo not to expect the Real Housewives of New Jersey to film at all in 2025. The series has been indefinitely paused after a disjointed season 14 filled with a toxic breakdown of the relationships in the cast. The biggest breakdown was Teresa's continued feud with her brother, Joe Gorga, and her sister-in-law, Melissa Gorga, which divided the cast as the family members refused to film with one another. For longtime viewers of RHONJ, none of this behavior is new. As long as Teresa has been part of the cast, these kinds of antics have been on the series, which is part of the reason she creates such great reality TV. But we can't pretend that season 14 is the first time the cast got physical, the first time the typical barbs expected in a Real Housewives feud hit far too below the belt, or the first time there seemed to be no way forward with the cast. Teresa has been pulling questionable stunts for as long as she has been on TV. And the moment from season 10 makes clear her fall from grace on Bravo could have happened much earlier than season 14. In what co-star Dolores Catania described as old-school stripper fighting, Danielle Staub pulled Margaret's ponytail at a shopping event that was filmed in season 10. Danielle and Margaret had been fighting verbally when Danielle stepped forward into Margaret's personal space and made a disparaging comment about Margaret's appearance. In retaliation, Margaret poured her water on Danielle's head. After the pair were separated, the store owner encouraged Danielle to pull Margaret's ponytail, which she did as she was exiting the event. Initially, it seemed like Teresa was only partially to blame, since she had been repeating misremembered insults that Margaret had said about Danielle in the past, in an obvious effort to stir the pot, because she was still irritated with Margaret about comments she had made in Jamaica earlier in the season. But as the season progressed, Danielle confessed to Melissa that Teresa had told her to pull Margaret's hair that day, which was confirmed at the reunion when footage was shown of Teresa giddily egging her friend on. When confronted, Teresa admitted she was wrong and confessed she just hoped that the production wouldn't use the footage. When Melissa acknowledged that production would of course use the footage, Teresa threw her drink and then knocked several more drinks off of a patio table, storming away angry because she knew the footage would not show her in a good light. Teresa's hair-triggered temper has been established on RHONJ, starting with her table flip in season 1. Teresa also staged a takedown of her sister-in-law with series friend Kim DePaola in season 4. Spreading false rumors that she was once a stripper. Teresa's temper frequently flared in arguments with her brother about Melissa. And Teresa's true colors showed up again in season 11 when she laughingly spread rumors that Avon Goldschneider had been cheating on Jackie with no supporting evidence. When Jackie met with Teresa at Margaret's home to confront Teresa, she used an analogy of spreading rumors that Teresa's daughter had been using drugs at college to try and drive home how hurtful Teresa's actions had been. Teresa lost her temper in an epic explosion of curse words as she stormed out of the house. Teresa worked hard to establish herself as calm and collected in later seasons of RHONJ, rebranding under the yoga phrase Namaste to suggest how peaceful she had become. But her continued feud with her family and the rumors that Teresa and Jennifer had turned to bloggers to leak information about their castmates, like when Teresa was feuding with John Fuda, and suddenly there was an uptick in online accounts bringing up his arrest history from when he was a young adult, certainly didn't help. The kind of antics that brought down RHONJ in season 14 have always been a part of the series, and Teresa's fall from grace on Bravo could have easily come much sooner. Has long been the volcanic epicenter of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, her drama erupting season after season in an intoxicating blend of table flips, family feuds, and designer meltdowns. Her larger-than-life personality, fiercely loyal fan base, and penchant for controversy made her a Bravo icon. But while her eventual fall from grace, complete with prison time, public humiliation, and a fractured family, played out in front of millions, it arguably came too late. The real moment her halo should have cracked, perhaps irreparably, wasn't when she was indicted or even when she was sentenced. It was during a moment far more insidious, calculated, and revealing of the darkness beneath the leopard print. The infamous Season 4 posh fashion show setup. This moment didn't come with handcuffs or court dates, but it exposed something just as damning. Teresa's capacity for orchestrated character assassination, wrapped in Fox innocence and cloaked in Bravo drama. It was the moment when she, alongside her friend Kim D, seemed to plot the public humiliation of her own sister-in-law, Melissa Gorga. The fashion show was supposed to be a glitzy, glittering showcase of New Jersey glam. Instead, it turned into a public ambush that smelled more like betrayal than hairspray. For viewers who had followed Teresa's tumultuous relationship with Melissa since her introduction in Season 3, there was already plenty of bad blood. Teresa never quite hid her resentment of Melissa marrying her brother, Joe Gorga, or stepping into her Bravo territory. But at the fashion show, the undercurrent of jealousy and vendetta boiled over into a truly malicious display. A man from Melissa's past, someone who claimed she had once danced for him at a gentleman's club, was invited to the event under murky pretenses. The implication: Melissa had a secret past, one that could tarnish her image, hurt her family, and damage her reputation. The setup was masterfully sinister. Teresa played coy, pretending to be concerned for Melissa, while clearly enjoying the unraveling that was about to take place. Her hands were technically clean. She hadn't brought the man, she hadn't said the words, but her fingerprints were all over the orchestration. Her wide-eyed feigned confusion didn't match the sly smirks and loaded silences leading up to the confrontation. It was housewife as puppet master, and it wasn't pretty. What made this moment so damning wasn't just the betrayal. It was the gaslighting that followed. Teresa denied, deflected, and spun so wildly that even Bravo producers seemed lost in the fog. Instead of apologizing or taking ownership, she leaned into a bizarre narrative where she was somehow the victim, blindsided, misunderstood, and always, somehow, under attack. The moral gymnastics required to excuse her behavior might have earned her an Olympic medal, but it didn't fool everyone. For many viewers, this was the moment when Teresa's glittering image began to tarnish. And yet, she stayed. She not only survived the scandal, she thrived. Teresa bulldozed through seasons of turmoil with the force of a rhinestone freight train. Legal troubles, marital issues, and family implosions followed, but the Bravo machine kept churning, and Teresa remained its most valuable asset. Fans tuned in not just to see her rise, but to witness how she would sidestep each downfall. She was reality TV's ultimate survivor. But should she have survived this particular moment? In the world of reality TV, where loyalty is currency and betrayal is spectacle, the posh fashion show setup was Teresa's moral bankruptcy filing. Unlike her legal troubles, which painted her as reckless or naive, this moment revealed something more calculated: a willingness to damage a family member's reputation for camera time and narrative control. It wasn't just drama, it was venomous. And yet, because it was entertaining, the cameras rolled on, and Bravo leaned in. There's a valid argument that her actual fall, her indictment for fraud, her 11-month prison sentence, her eventual divorce, was just desserts. But those consequences came from the real world, not the Bravo bubble. Within the world of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, her status was never truly shaken. She returned from prison to applause, yoga poses, and redemption arcs. She went from villain to phoenix without ever really acknowledging the ashes she left behind. But perhaps that's the very nature of reality TV. It's not a courtroom, it's a coliseum. And Teresa, knowingly or not, became one of its most captivating gladiators. She played the game so well that her most ruthless moments like the setup at the posh fashion show, were folded into the performance. Viewers booed and cheered, but they kept watching. Still, it's worth asking what kind of message that sent. When the audience cheers a woman tearing down her sister-in-law on national television for sport, What does that say about the currency of fame?